Hi guys, I'm Aussie and welcome to episode 31 of our world tour at Persiba in Indonesia, of course. And since last episode where we had 2 wins, which was really solid, then we went and played Persiba in the league. Now they were right up there with us towards the top. They're actually above us in the league table at the time we played the game. You can see Boaz and Chavez got the goals. Now this was actually an even game. I think we played the better football, perhaps, but they attacked really directly, which made it nervous. So you can see they had 23 shots on goal, only 4 on target. It was just a lot of like hit and rush or whatever you would call it. Yeah, so it was actually an even game. I think we maybe just played the better football, as I said, but yeah, it was certainly made nervous by their direct attacks, that's for sure. So that was a good solid win. Then we played Pesita. You can see 4-2, Redian with 2, Yagalo, and Wayan, he finally scored a penalty. Statistically, or attribute-wise, he's our best penalty taker. So we stuck him on there, we kept him on there, and he's finally got one. And this was a game we dominated. You can see they scored from their only 2 shots on target, or only 2 shots on goal even. So that, yeah, it's a little bit flattering to them. We really did dominate the game. We deserved to win. But yeah, just clocking off a little bit in defense at times, which is a little bit of a worry. Now, just before we get started, if you are just discovering the channel, please do subscribe. And if you do find yourself enjoying this episode at any point, please do hit like as well. Now, this episode, speaking of it, we're going to be playing Sriwijaya, who are top of the league right now, as well as PS Tira. Now, they've always given us the game. They beat us once, maybe even twice last year, despite being us being champions. We've got 2 really tough games. If we look at the table to see where we are, you can see we're second, 2 points off top. Sriwijaya have drawn their last 2 games, I believe. So perhaps just starting to fall off a little bit. Well, yeah, big games, and we need to make sure that we are getting points. You can see PS Tira there is only 3 points back from us as well, albeit they have played a game extra. Now, there will, of course, be a Goals of the Month at the end of this episode after the PS Tira game. Now, if you haven't seen Lee Sang-min, yeah, if you haven't seen his goal from last episode, stick around for that. It's very special. This is a team we're sending out. Sriwijaya in goal. Chavez, Ahmed, and Medina across the back. Dambolino and Yagalo provide the width. Moses, Redian, and Septien comes back in. He's fit. Lee Sang-min just got a bit of a knock, so we're not going to risk him from the start. We'll have him on the bench if we need him. Boaz and Wayan up top. They are really developing a nice little partnership. So we can see Sriwijaya, they are essentially parking the bus, aren't they? This is what the scouts expected. I think that's perhaps why they may be top. That they may. I didn't see their scores, but I'm assuming there might be a lot of low-scoring 1-0 wins, things like that. Please look at me with admiration. Assistant says, "Look, the boys got their clear minds, nothing to address at this stage." I'm going to say, immediately give a lot of credit, like you go out there and put on a worthy display. Yeah, that kind of worked. That works really well for my Arsenal team. Do it for the media for some reason. So we'll see if, I mean, that's a pretty good response, isn't it? And let's see what we can do here. I'm expecting them to basically try and hit us on the counter-attack. That's kind of what I'm expecting. So we're going to sit a little bit deeper, try and not let them do that, and then we're going to attack with width, try and get crosses into the box. I'm thinking that's probably the best way to go about this. Time will tell. I was tempted... Oh, I thought that was going to go in. I was tempted seeing their lineup to go with sort of a take out Moses and play someone a bit higher up the pitch. But we'll wait and see how the game goes. We can always look to do that later on if we need to. Not the best start, but it looks like we've gotten away with it. Given where they are in the league, we have not touched the ball yet. Come on, boys. There we go, that's much better. Given where we are in the league and where they are in the league, away from home, I'm thinking a point may not be shocking here, but we never play for a point, do we? We always go for the win. So we'll see how that develops. Redian's picked up a knock. That's not what we needed. We're not. I don't want to risk him and having be out for any longer than he needs to be. Alright, we do have Lee Sang-min. He's essentially fit. I just didn't want to risk him. So we'll bring him on as the advanced playmaker. That should be fine. As I said, hopefully nothing too serious there for Redian. Just takes away one of those subs, one of those options for later on. I'm thinking if we need to go a bit more attacking, we can drop Boaz in behind and bring Ronaldo Wanmi, I think it's something like that anyway, off the bench as well to play up front with Wayan. So we'll see how things develop here. They're passing it around a little bit more easier than I would have liked. I'm worried about pushing the line up higher just because I don't want to get done over the top. Let's try and show some passion here. we haven't really got going. Here comes a highlight, though. Boaz, can we find one of the centre-backs in the middle? It's headed away. Can we win that? No. Are we going to get counter-attacked here? We've got men going back. They haven't gone for a direct counter-attack, so that should be fine. I'm actually seeing here they're not necessarily looking to go over the top right now, are they? So I'm considering maybe pushing up the line and seeing what that does. I feel like we're dominating possession, but we haven't. All the highlights have been theirs, which, I mean, they're expected to sort of stand off as well, so that is probably reminiscent of that, isn't it? They're standing off, they're letting us have the ball. I think it's going to be one of these games where the first goal is just absolutely vital, because if they score first, they're just going to make it impossible for us, aren't they? Cross comes in. Oh, it's not good defending. It's off the bar. I get the feeling something needs to change here. Now, I'm not sure if our strikers are tracking their men back. I don't think they are. I think, actually, you know what? I don't think I've changed it. I don't know why, if I tell them to mark a specific position, why it's not doing that automatically. I'll have to remember to do that after this game. That explains a little bit, perhaps, why they are getting space in wide areas they shouldn't necessarily have. So hopefully that'll close down that for them. And that makes me wonder now if we should be looking to push up or put somebody a little bit higher up the pitch as well. Let's get creative. And the highlight starts. Come on, Boaz. What can you do here for us? Boaz! Oh, it's decent. Just over the bar. Yeah, not a classic, is it? Not a classic. Is there anything we can change? Another highlight would be a good time to go ahead, wouldn't it? But it would be a terrible time to go behind. Boaz is heavy touch. Can he win that back? Oh, he's going straight round you. Go on, just stick a foot in. Oh, he's right. We've got two of them, and they can't win the ball. At least foul him. Oh no. Oh, Sriwijaya makes the save. That was poor, wasn't it? That was quite poor. I'm thinking we might need to change the way we're pressing here. It's away from Medina. That's what he's in there to do. He's been a bit disappointing so far. Still settling in the club, foreign language and all that, foreign country. So I'm not too concerned, but I'm a little bit frustrated, I think. It's probably the word, that he's not playing how we kind of expect him to, or I expect him to anyway. So that has not been a great half of football for us, has it? Bit of a snore fest. We will say... Can we do a passionate time for everyone to dig in? Go out there and win the match. We'll do some individual talks here, and then I'll come back for the second half, guys. I don't want to make you sit here while I do all these. It's just basically, we'll do it anyway. Just telling guys that they can either play better or more of the same, please. What have we done there? This is going to be boring, guys. I am going to edit this out. Okay, just a few tactical tweaks as well. We are playing a higher line now. Hopefully we won't get done over the top. There's nothing surer than we will. We're going to try and hit early crosses in as well. We're not going to try and stuff around. They've got so many men back defending. We're just going to try and get the ball in the box where we can, and sort of see what happens from there. In terms of changes, we're not playing well up front. Part of me just thinks that's because we're not creating anything. Come on, let's show some passion here. We've got nervous players now, which isn't fantastic. Septian's looking nervous. Nothing is happening. There's absolutely nothing happening. I think what we're going to do, we're going to try going two up top. Septian is sort of pushing fitness coming into it anyway. So we'll do that. We'll play him as an attacking midfielder. We'll try Boaz as an advanced playmaker. I'm thinking let's try and just go the dog leg in midfield there, I think. Try him as a poacher. I don't usually like poachers, but we'll just see. We've got faith in him to go out there and make a difference. He's only come off the bench so far, Wanman. He hasn't really done much, if I'm honest. So we'll see what he can do here. He hasn't had that many chances. When we play him in the under-21s for fitness, he does okay. So, oh, come on. This has been absolutely turgid. Demand more. Turgid's like my word now, isn't it? I don't know where I've heard that. It just seems to be my word I use. Can we do something late? This has been an absolute snorefest. Ronaldo has the ball. What can he do? So we've got time. We've got 20 seconds. So if we want to do something, we've got to do it quickly. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, does it? Can we win that back? Moses has got it. And he's given it straight back to them. Yeah, not a classic. Not a classic. It's just been hacked into touch. Line out for Persiba, and that is the end of the game. Sorry about that, guys. That was not... I'm going to blame them. They were very, very defensive. We didn't create much. Neither did they. It was just a boring game, wasn't it? I'm going to say that I'm not... we'll just say unlucky. I don't think we can be that much responsible for it. We tried. I think in hindsight, I was tempted to go back to the 4-3-3, the 4... What is it, the wingers? 4-2-3-1. Just because they were expected to play so defensively, and I think in hindsight I should have done that. It's a 3-weeker. That's not great. We took him straight off too, so that's a shame. Pulled hamstring. Good thing we didn't leave that any longer then. But guys, wait right there. We will be back for... Who did I say the second game was? I can't even remember now. The second game. Oh yeah, PS Tira. Okay, welcome back. It's PS Tira in the second game of the episode. You can see we're at home, we're favourites, and a win here could potentially put us top of the table, although Persiba are playing the same time and they do have a better goal difference than us. So if they win, possibly not. Now, before we get to this game, I just want to keep us sort of up to date on the job market. Like I said, we're not just living for anybody, but I think it's worth keeping an eye on what jobs are available here. Now, you'll see there are a few Chinese Super League clubs available, and I have applied for them, I think. Have I not applied? I did apply for them. They just haven't updated yet. So, yeah, this is where we're sort of at here. I'm thinking if we look at, secure finances, it's a wage bill, it's average facilities, Shandong here as well. I mean, look at excellent training facilities. They're a rich club. I mean, I don't necessarily think that we'll get them. But what I'm a little bit concerned about, same here, secure finances, Shenzhen. Look, I mean, the wage budget, 300,000 a week. I mean, this is proper football. We could actually get proper footballers in. Like I say, I'm not just leaving for anybody. That's not what this is about. But just to sort of keep an eye on what's available. You see there is some second division teams available too. I don't think we're going to get a top flight. Like, we're not getting America and Mexico. It's just not going to happen. Or we're not going to get Atletico Nacional either. But there's some second division teams here that might be okay. Do we want to go to South Africa? I don't think so. I think if we'd gone to South Africa initially, that would have been fine, but I don't know we want to go there now. But you'll see here, look, there's there's a first division team in China. We're getting to we're almost in June, so the mid-season sackings are sort of underway now. So, I mean, there's another Korean club there that didn't hire us last time. Would they do it this time? That's debatable. Another Chinese first division team. So there's a few options there that are starting to come up. I'm not going to take any job. I'll make sure that we get some feedback from you guys first, but just to sort of see what's available. We can see it there, and if we look at, just because I don't think I've shown it for a little while, if we look at our profile here, you can see that we are almost a 2-star manager now. So these sort of 2.5-star clubs should be within our range. I'm a little bit concerned about these coaching attributes. They're not really moving. We're going up the coaching badge line now. Hopefully that'll improve it. What I'm concerned about here is this. And we don't have, like last season, you can see there we got the out of debt very quickly because we won that Asian Confederation Cup. We don't have that this season. So we're going to go into a lot of debt very, very quickly here. And there's not too much we can do to get out of it that I can see because we don't have any prize money. If you see here, we're well under the wage budget. We're just more than half. And that's going to drop down a little bit more too in the January window because Kayona is going to come off the wage bill, as is Lacornu. A couple will come in, so maybe we'll break about even on that one. But yeah, you can see, I mean, we're not spending the transfer budget either. So I'm a little bit concerned that we're not going to be able to do any more coaching badges for a couple of seasons, and that means we're going to stagnate, which isn't really useful in the sort of the World Tour. So, like I say, we're not leaving right away, and I will sort of get feedback from you guys before I do anything, but that's kind of where we're at. This is the team we're sending out to play PS Tira. It's Sriwijaya in goal. He has a new contract. He was already here for another 2 years. He's here for another 3 years now. Yagalo, Chavez, Ahmed, and Dambolina. Medina is injured. 3 to 5 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks with a twisted ankle, so that's a bit of a blow. One of our foreign players unavailable. It's Matongdang, Moses, as we call him, Septien and Lee Sung-min in midfield, Zemran and Zafali and Negrero up top. You'll notice a change in formation. Simple reason for that. With Medina injured, of course, we are a centre-back down, and Safali has come complaining he wants first-team football. He's a very, very high-potential player, so we're not going to risk annoying him, I figured. If we're down a central defender anyway, let's just switch formations. and hope that the wingers find a bit of form. We're going with Zamran over Tonando because he's in better form. Tonando's in horrible form. So I think Zamran deserves his chance here. Now, what do we say? Assistant says go out there with a clear mind. We've been on a good run lately. Go out there and impress me. Some calm. We have faith. Now, PS Tira are a good team. We cannot pretend they're not. If you remember in the run-in last season, they beat us, and then they also beat Persiba, and no one at that stage was beating Persiba. So they are definitely a good team that we have to take seriously. They like to pass the ball around Septi, and that's not a good start, mate. So we're playing a very high line. We're pressing them. We're trying to stop them from passing the ball. I mean, let's face it, at this level, a passing team, it's still, you're still an Indonesian League One team. So I'm hoping if we press them, we'll be able to break up their passing game and not let them settle into that. So that's the plan. Whether that'll work or not, we'll see. And then we'll do our usual attack down the wings with width, and hope that we can find way in the middle. The downside to this, of course, was that we had to leave Boaz out. Now, Boaz has been really, really good for us. Let's try show some passion here. Are we going to get another snooze fest? This is shaping into be a horrible, horrible episode for goals, isn't it? Yeah, so Boaz out is a bit of a bit of a bummer, but that's, I guess, the price we had to pay. Coming into half time here, can we win this ball back, or are we going to find ourselves on the end of an attack at the worst possible time? We do have a nasty habit of conceding at the end of halves, don't we? And I think that's a fitness issue. We have been doing endurance training to try and counter that. Yeah, we're sort of backing off a lot here. We should be easy for Chavez, and that part of it was, well, we can pass out. Here we go, Moses to Lee Sun Min. I'm not playing him as a playmaker. Whether that's a mistake or not, I'm not sure. He's more naturally an attacking sort of central midfielder, so we're using him in that role. Safali into Yagalo. Can he find a cross? We're kind of walking into no man's land there. Lee Sung-min, shoot! Lee Sung-min! No! He's done it again! It's not as good as the goal he scored yesterday, but that is still not bad, is it? It's still very much worthy of goals of the month, which of course will be after this game. Nice little plug there, wasn't it? That puts us up to first, and that was really, really nicely done. A bit of build-up play, and a little bit of luck on that front there, wasn't it? The poor header out, and that's a cracking finish, isn't it? Just under the crossbar. And Lee Sun-min, he is just... what a signing he's proving to be. I've got an itchy nose. I'm getting cat hairs up my nose, I think. I don't know why. The cats must be shedding. Anyway, that's a little glimpse into my own personal life. First world problems, isn't it? So it hasn't been a classic, has it? But they have not... so far, touch wood, our tactics seem to be working. They're not creating anything. So what do we say here? Keep going. Things are going well. You're capable of better. I think I like that. I don't want to say don't get complacent, because maybe I should have, because we are dominating the game. Oh, have I made a mistake there? I always second guess myself on team talks. I don't know. Does anybody else do that? It's just... I just second guess myself all the time. We'll tell Lee Sun-min that he's playing very well. He loses focus. That's what I mean. You try and say something nice, and that's what happens. Zamran's first start of the year. Now, we do have Tornado on the bench, just because I'm not completely convinced that we'll get 90 minutes out of Zamran. So that's an option. We don't have to... we're not sort of stuck without options on the right side. Other than Lee Sun-min, that's gone pretty well. So let's get back out there. We just need to make sure now that we concentrate off kickoff, because we have conceded a few goals straight from kickoff too. I'm pretty sure it was Persiba that was doing that. I have 3 saves going. I have this one, I have my Aston Villa save, and my Arsenal save as well. So if you haven't checked those out, it might be worth doing. It's a great free kick. It's off the crossbar. There for Chavez, is cleared away. So sometimes I forget which teams are conceding what goals when. So I think it's Persiba that has a habit of doing. Anyway, we've survived the first few minutes after half time, so we should be we are in the clear from a goal straight away, aren't we? This is looking nice so far. I'll give it another get creative, and I think it's almost at the time where we have to start consider changes. We're getting some tied legs. Moses, is he going to lose that? He is. Dambolina's there to bail him out, though. Well done, Dambolina. Lee Sun-min, shoot. He's crossed it. I think it was a cross. I don't think it was a shot. He can shoot from anywhere, though. Septian, he can shoot from anywhere as well. But they're passing out from the back. Can we put pressure on? They've got a little bit long there, but they have found their man. We've got men back. I'd like to think we can defend this, but we're not going with him. 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 Chavez is back. Well done, Chavez. That was heart and throat moment, though, wasn't it? They've gone long again. Abandoning their short, quick passing ways. Can we get that away? Oh, Sriwijaya is there. I think that was off the crossbar. Okay, let's look to make some subs here. Moses, as good as he's been, is looking very tired. We do have Olanga on the bench, so we'll bring him on. We'll play him as a defensive midfielder. Just try and shore that up. Anything else we want to do here? We probably don't need these guys bombing forward now, do we? I'm tempted to take off Dambolina for our young academy product here, who's, again, a very high potential player, but we won't. We'll leave him on for now. We might look to stop counter-pressing. We might just regroup. We'll slow down the pace a little bit. We're not going to go defensive, but we might just start to be a little bit more sensible in how we're playing. Yeah, I don't think we want to change any of that yet. We still want to press them high up the field, as I said. We don't want to go into our shells just yet. But we also just want to be just a little bit sensible about how we're going about things here. Give it a concentrate. Negredo hasn't played particularly well. We might look to take him off for Boaz, actually, because Boaz can hold up the ball. Play him as a deep lying forward on attack, which means we want to work the ball into the box, because Boaz isn't getting on the end of anything. As I said, he's an old man now. His pace is gone. Actually, can we have a look at that? Just so you guys can sort of see what I'm talking about. The physical stats are just gone. Absolutely gone. The rest of his game, especially the mental stuff, is still there. The finishing and first touch is still there. He's still a good player. It's just he's physically a shell of a man, as I keep saying. So we can't we can't expect him to run onto anything. There's a decent ball back post. Ahmed's there. Is that a penalty? Is that a penalty? It is a penalty. I think it is a penalty. All right. Here comes Boaz. Can he wrap up the 3 points for us? This would be a really good 3 points. I know it's at home, but PS Tira, we've really struggled against them in the past. All right, come on, Boaz. Come on, mate. Come on, Boaz. Oh, there he is, the old man of the team, the grandfather. Boaz nets his fourth, and that is really, really good stuff. Let's tell him to concentrate. Have sometimes a habit of conceding goals straight after we scored. So we'll try and avoid that here. And here it comes. Apparently concentrate isn't the shout to be yelling at them. Oh, we've just about got away with that. Septiang hoofs off the line. We have another sub. We might as well make a little bit of a time waster. Give somebody else a game. Who's looking complacent? Our left wing is looking complacent. We have limited options here, don't we? Let's take off the booking. Let's bring Randika on for Yagalo. Yagalo's played really, really well. He's happy with his game time now. The reason we were playing him so much is because he was unhappy with his game time, but he's happy with that now. But he's been playing so well that he's kind of earned himself a spot in the team. If you want to know, Persiba have lost. Now, Bayankara are right up there this year as well. I think everybody's right up there this year. It's a really, really tight league. We'll sort of check the league table after this game to see where it leads us. But the fact that Persiba is losing means that this should put us top, which is a really good place to be, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering too, it's probably a little bit too early in the season to be able to do it now, but if we are able to sort of take another job at the end of this season, if we're looking as though we're going to challenge for the league, which we should, especially given the fact that we're defending champions, you'd expect us, considering I think we've strengthened the team, so we should be up there challenging again, especially without having to split our squad between Asian football as well. That is a pretty good win, I think. Don't get complacent, I think is a good shout, and let's go on. So there we go, we do go top of the league. It's the first time this year we've been top, but I mean, look at how the teams are just queuing up. Look at that. I mean, that's 7 points, I guess, now, but it's really, really tight, isn't it? Half the league are sort of in that cluster, then it sort of drops off a bit, doesn't it? The bastards from Bali are struggling this year, though with a game in hand, if they were to win, they'd maybe kick up a little bit, but I'm getting distracted there, aren't I? So there we go, puts us top of League One. KG press conference from our opponent, that's okay. Lee Sung-min is a brilliant, man. We already knew that. 10 games without losing now. Suddenly those draws, we still haven't lost, and that's important, isn't it? Dare we say the I word of course, invincible, which I've just said, so there we go. We will be back on Monday, of course. I think Persiba, they're down there a little bit. I don't want to come straight back. What we'll do is we'll come back, we'll skip the Persiba game, we'll come back for Bay and Kara and Arima. Arima are also a good team that have always given us a tough game. So that will be for Monday, 2 home games, something to look forward to. But until then, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have enjoyed that, as I said at the start, please do hit the thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and ring the bell so you see when I upload new episodes. But until Monday, here is our goals of the month for May. Take care.
Christmas time.